Watermelon, the Beijing's specialty fruit. It grows primarily in an area in a large village in the suburb of Beijing. But however, in recent years, this area has turned into a large residential area with hundreds of apartments built for the lower income people. I'm interested in knowing where have the farmers gone and what happened to the rest of farmland. I didn't manage to see many farmlands. However, to my surprise, I found another way that the people are reconnecting with the land. That is, growing vegetables in this newly urbanized area. They remain farmers in heart. So immediately to the north of this residential area, there's a road, and beyond the road, there's this man-made small hill. I think this hill was made using the earth dug from the construction site for all these apartment buildings.
There's a park outside immediately after this area to separate the whole residential compound from the traffic as well as from the farming fields.
Walking further down the hill towards the other side, we have seen some vegetable sprout. It seems to just grow up quickly and without much planning and from the ground. It seems there are some people planting some vegetables here without much consideration, doesn't care whether it will grow or not. At the end of this here, and then there's the flat area, and we can see that more and more people making this farmland into more like a vegetable land. This is much bigger in scale. I guess probably the urban planning department haven't decided what they're going to use with this part of land, or maybe it's just cleared for future construction, but at the moment they keep it idle. So residents nearby, they quickly develop these parts of land. I myself grew up in South China, so have different types of vegetables, but still I could recognize many of the vegetables planted here, despite the still just a little sprout. And it's interesting to look at these modern and tall apartment buildings. This area of flat land, I believe the government has some plans to use this field. But the residents here, they happily taken up this opportunity to grow their own vegetables and primarily for fun because here there's no irrigation, there's
啊，
no
你是这么来
places
运
to
水
get
的哈？我正在
water.
想这种菜的水哪儿来？
你看你
都得这么运过来哈，你还得开个小车这么运。
看看，你看看，
If you want to become a farmer to grow some vegetable here, you need to have this kind of transportation method. You could carry water from places nearby.
不过这浇水够辛苦哈，
可不？
可不啊，这辣椒了，你这
对，辣椒，辣椒，我看见要死，我说给它浇点水吧。
嗯，
你看不浇行吗？这都干了。
对。
These two elderly people, obviously more than 80 years old, they are here carrying a convenience store in their hands. When I looked back, I just realized, well, they carried the stool and then the poor elderly people just sit under the tree as if they're having a picnic or have an afternoon gathering under the shade. Whether grow vegetable or not, probably it's just a way for them to kill the time and attending a shared parcel of land that would provide an opportunity for friends to gather and to hang out. In this regard, the vegetable field is a kind of a gathering place for these elderly people. For elderly people in China, and I believe in everywhere, and just thinking about many of these people, probably they used to be farmers, but now they lost their land, despite the probably they still have their home, their house nearby, not far away, but then they do want to have a place where stretch a little bit about their legs and walk around, stay close with their friends. This elderly man, he was a little bit cautious when he saw me was filming and he asked what I was doing. I assume some people might be a little bit sensitive because they know this is not a proper farmland that could grow vegetables. They're just doing something in theory not legal, but I guess everyone knows it's important for people to have some kind of playground with vegetables. So I guess the government and everyone just let them do it themselves. By the roadside, I saw a farmer parked his vehicle and selling watermelon by the roadside. He's a farmer, lives nearby, and then he saw that this new residential area, there might be people passing by, so he come here to sell his watermelon. And he told me that he didn't use much of his land to grow watermelon, and purely he grow watermelon as a habit. He didn't think that requires some technological skills because that's the way he has been doing it for his life.
要点技术吗？
技术这还老种，就谈不上什么技术了。
这你这是也是按这个单价一我过来看
Here,
看哈。
I met another vegetable grower, and he told me that he came from another province, but he's here to live with his son and to take care of the grandchildren, which is very typical for the Chinese youngsters. When they move to a new city, their parents always come to live with them for some time so that they could help to take care of the grandchildren when they were young. Obviously, he's from northern China, so he was surprised to learn that my hometown didn't grow this type of big onion. Somehow, probably because he comes from another province and he's temporarily living here, he seemed to be more reserved compared with other farmers from this region. He didn't talk much about other people from here.
您这开这一垦地可能得挺费劲儿的哈。对，那得没有水，对对对。就你一个人哈。
Walking further down the road, I saw these three elderly people having this kind of utensils to grow vegetable. Since I'm a new YouTuber, somehow I was a little bit shy to film people directly. But then I just discussed with them, asked about their experience growing vegetable here. They told me that the piece of land they're working on indeed was reclaimed from construction site. So they picked up a lot of stones and bricks and then finally get a piece of land. They're growing corn, which still needs some water. But compared with other vegetables, corn is relatively easier and doesn't require much water.
大石头、砖头、碗碗都有，这些砖头啊，垃圾袋。那下雨了，你上院子。
I just said farewell to this older gentleman. I might come back to take a look at these vegetables in the future. And for now, I'll just continue walking on these side streets, sidewalks, and it says it will lead me to a river and where I could have some fun and to know more about this environment.
This seems to be a newly upgraded river. Because of the residential area development nearby, so they have finally dredged up the water, the river, and make it more properly run. But however, despite some parts they have these stone banks, many banks remains covered by grass and short shrubs. And this part of the river even have this kind of stone bridge so that people could play with water on it. Overall, the water seems clear and people and the children do have fun walking across the river here. This looks people arrived first in the afternoon so that they could secure the place to have a barbecue on that platform. It seems a nice place to have barbecue from evening till night. You can see the watermelon fields now have turned into different types of farms, particularly catering for the city residents for picking up fruits
But so far, it seems whether they're former farmers, they could nostalgically come back to have a piece of land to grow vegetable, or people from other places just reuniting with their children. They all find some peace and happiness in growing vegetables in this area.